Okay, next thing, this is going to be new to everybody. Okay, on top of the first paper, find the vertex of the following quadratic equations. Then identify two other coordinate points. Find the vertex of the following quadratic equations and identify two other coordinate points. You're going to make your 8 boxes on all these, okay? And in the first box we have the equation y equals x to the second power plus 6x plus 13. This is in A, B, C form. That's me putting a 1 there, and that's standard form. So you're going to stack your 3 coordinates up. X, Y, X, Y, X, Y. The middle is your vertex, and then these other will be my other 2 coordinate points. Okay, to find the vertex off a standard form equation, we apply the formula opposite of B divided by 2 times A. So the opposite of plus 6 is negative 6, and then 2 times 1 is 2. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. So negative 3 is going to be your vertex x. It's also known as the axis of symmetry. Then we go 1 forward, 1 to the right, and 1 to the left. Now we substitute these values into the equation for x and find the y. So we have 1 times negative 2 to the second power plus 6 times negative 2 plus 13. I came up with an output of 5. Then you can clear it. I would personally just hit the up key on the calculator and just swap the negative 2's out with negative 3's. Got 4. And I put negative 4 in. And 5. Okay, so now go down to the next one. And you're going to notice something. Y equals quantity x plus 3 to the second plus 4. That's in vertex form. Vertex is when you have the A, you can put the 1 in front, H, and K. Now I'm going to make 3 coordinates, okay? Just like I did here. I know that isn't how we usually graph those, but that's not what we're not graphing, okay? So x, y, x, y. This middle vertex, you can put a k above the y and an h above the x. Now your k is 4, so that's going to be 4. Then to find the h, don't just put 3 in. Set the quantity, the expression inside the quantity, the parentheses equal to 0, because that's the minimum that any value to the second power could result in. So x would have a value of negative 3. Okay, then I'm going to go 1 to the right and 1 to the left. So I substitute those into the calculator. So you got 1, negative 2 plus 3. After the parentheses, we square it, and then plus 4. I got 5. Now let's put negative 4 in. I got 5. Now I want you to compare the sets of coordinates you got for each equation. They're a dead match. They're the same. That's because these equations are exactly the same value. They're just written differently. This is in standard form. This is in vertex form. What you're doing then on the assignment is converting it from standard form to vertex form. Here's how this is going to be done. So you're going to make your 8 boxes. And the directions are convert the equations from standard form to vertex form by, quote, completing the square, end quote. Again, convert the equations from standard form to vertex form by, quote, completing the square, end quote. Here's the first equation. y equals x to the second minus 8x minus 25. Y equals x to the second minus 8x minus 25. There's a setup you want to do before you just start writing stuff down and trying to manipulate and rewrite formulas and all that. You're going to write y equals down 3 times. And in the first y equals, what you need to do is put a parentheses, but you kick that minus 25 out. And you put a 1x to the second. Okay? And it's always going to be a 1. Whether that's a 1 up there or not, it's irrelevant. We always need 1x to the second. Or just x to the second. But I'm going to put a 1 there. Okay? That's the setup. And you'll set it that way up every time. Now the rest is parentheses. Make sure you have a 1 up there. Does that 1x squared match that? Yes, it does. So then you're free to drop your minus 8x now. Okay. This is the A, this is the B, and C is going to go right here, but it ain't going to be the 25. That's why you kick that out. Now, how are you going to find the C? Well, we want to make that a perfect square trinomial. And to find that, we take B divided by 2 to the second. So the B is negative 8. Then I take negative 8 divided by 4. 2 is negative 4 to the second. Then negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. Okay? So I'm going to add 16 here. And then I need to add it to the y on the other side. But then quickly I am going to minus 16 because I want this as just y the rest of the way. And I minus 16 under this number I kicked out. Now I'm going to factor that expression into 2 parentheses. So 1 times 16 is 16, positive. Remember, the signs have to match. We want to add so that we get to negative 8. Well, if I use b divided by 2 to the second to find that number for c, we have got to have the same 2 numbers, okay? And the same 2 numbers are 4 and 4. Okay, 4 times 4 is 16, and also that adds to negative 8, so we have it. So I come over here, you can ditch the 1 at that point, just slash it out because it'd be just x squared, so you can rewrite it as x times x minus 4, and then negative 25 minus 16 is minus 41, okay? Then you write x minus 4 to the second power, and then minus 41 after. So there you have it. Y equals quantity x minus 4 to the second minus 41. Okay, next one. That should be automatic, okay? Anytime you're trying to rewrite it in complete the square form, okay? In its vertex form, I should say. Now make sure this matches this. It does, so we drop. Oh, by the way, this was y equals x squared plus 18x plus 2. Y equals 1x squared plus 18x plus 2. So again, you put the 1x squared and the plus 2 outside. Then if this matches what's in front of the x squared here, you can drop your plus 18x. Okay. Now, a, b, and we have to find a new number there. So we do b divided by 2 squared. B is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 9 to the second is 81. Okay. So we add 81, but remember you have to add 81 over here. Whenever you have an equation, you bring a new number into one side, you got to bring it into the other. So you're going to minus 81 very quickly from the 2 outside there. Now we put this trinomial into factored form. So it'd be 81 positive, so the signs would need to match. And we'd be adding to positive 18. Okay, it's got to be the same 2 factors. 81 is a perfect square. You can write it as 9 and 9. And if you add those, that's negative 18. To make it positive 18, we go plus plus. Okay, now you can take the 1 off your a. You ain't going to need that. Okay, so x plus 9 plus 9. 2 minus 81 is negative 79, so minus 79. You can also put plus negative. Then we write that as x plus 9 to the second minus 79. And these two equations are equivalent, just written in different forms. Okay, next one. Some of you are going to see this, oh, I don't even know where to go. Well, you learn the setup and you will. Okay. Okay. Plus 6, and that's always 1x squared when using completing the square, always. Now, make sure this matches, it does, so I'm free to drop minus 4x. So a, b, I need to find a new c. So b divided by 2 to the second, so b is negative 4. So that's negative 2 to the second, and that's negative 2 times negative 2, and that's 4. Remember, if you add 4 here, you got to add it to this side, but then you're quickly going to get rid of that plus 4, but you want to minus it under that outside. Okay, you need that there. Don't minus it under there. Okay. Okay, so 1 times 4 is 4, positive. So the signs have to be a match. It's negative 4, because that's your b. It's got to be 2 and 2, okay? And we want that as negative. So then now I ditch the 1, I write that into 2 parentheses with x minus 2 minus 2. Then 6 minus 4 is 2, so plus 2. So we now write that as x minus 2 quantity squared plus 2. Okay, y equals x to the second power plus 16x minus 2. So y equals 1x squared, drop the constant, okay, after it. Now, do you have a 1x squared there? You do, so you can drop 16x, okay. That's a, b, and we now go get ourselves a new c. So we do b divided by, and the whole point of getting a new c is so you can rewrite the trinomial as a perfect square with the second power quantity squared. So b is 16, 16 divided by 2 is 8 to the second, 8 times 8 is 64. So plus 64, then we have to add 64 to the c, to the y, but then quickly subtract it, but put it under the minus 2. Okay, because I need to protect that. Okay, so table, 1 times 64 is 64. It is positive 64, so the signs must be a match. We are adding to try to get positive 16 out of it. What number times itself is 64? Be 8. Now right now that adds to negative 16. Well, to make it add to positive 16, you put positive. Okay? Now if a is a 1, you can get rid of it, and that means I can just write x, and then double plus 8s. Negative 2 minus 64 is negative 66. There you have it. This is equivalent to this. Okay, last two. Y equals x to the second power plus 20x minus 6. Y equals x to the second power plus 20x minus 6. You got to know the setup or you're pretty much done. Now does this match this? Yep, so I can just drop 20x. Okay. A, B, and I got to get my new C. So I take 20 divided by 2 to the second. That's 10 to the second. And 10 times itself is 100. So I add 100, but if I add 100 to that, I have to add it to the other side. But then quickly I need to minus 100. And we minus 100 from the negative 6. You need to protect your 100 you just brought in. So I go to factor it. 1 times 100 is 100, positive, negative, negative. You're adding to make 20, okay? Positive 20, okay? 100 would be 10 times 10. You got to know your perfect squares. Now that again adds to negative 20. To make it add to positive 20, we make it plus, plus, okay? Okay, so we don't need the 1, as long as it's a 1, which it will be, because there's always going to be a 1 there. So xx plus 10 plus 10, I got the 10s from over here, minus 106, and then I have x plus 10 quantity squared minus 106. Okay, last one. Y equals x to the second power minus 6x plus 11. Y equals x to the second power minus 6x plus 11. So does that match this? Sure it does. So I drop the 6x. I have an a and a b. I need a new c. That's why you kick that out. You don't want that number as your c. Okay, so b divided by 2 to the second. So b would be negative 6. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3 to the second. And then negative 3 times itself is 9. Anything to the second power is a positive. Whether the base is negative or positive is irrelevant. It will still be positive. So I add 9 here, and then I quickly subtract 9 from the 11. Okay. Okay, so factor this. Put that into factored form. 1 times 9 is 9, positive, so the signs have to match. They have to add to negative 6. So it'd be 3 and 3, okay? Alright, you can now get rid of your 1 and just write it into an XX formation. Minus 3 minus 3. 11 minus 9 is 2, okay? So it'd be x minus 3 to the second plus 2. That and that are equivalent expressions.